Okay, how do I study my Bible? There's several ways that I study my Bible. First of all, yes, I do have my Bible right here. Okay? I have my Bible right here. And right now, I'm in Genesis chapter 10, verse 2. And in Genesis chapter 10, verse 2, which is right here, I am studying Gomer. Gomer in Genesis chapter 10, verse 2. Okay? Genesis chapter 10, verse 2. And I'm studying Gomer. Okay? That's Genesis 10, verse 2. So I start here. I start here. But I want more information on Gomer, right? So I go and I read the book that Gomer is attached to. Because this expands Gomer. As I drop my tablet, it must be dropped. So I read this as I'm learning and expanding about Gomer. And Gomer is mentioned for me in chapter 6 of this book. Depending on where you are, it will be in a different chapter. Okay? It'll be in a different chapter. So I begin there, and then what I do is I go back to my Bible after I read that, and you see right here where those blue lines are, those are the study notes on Gomer in the Bible. If this were Genesis 10, these are the study notes on Gomer in the Bible, right here in this blue line. This right here. Okay? What I do with those study notes is I study all of the people attached to those study notes, and they ask me questions. If there's any information that is pertaining to the topic of Christianity and faith, I write it down on uh not gonna show you the notes that I got right now, but I write it down on a paper like this, a legal paper, okay? And I do that because they may not be in the area where they're supposed to be. That makes them uncomfortable. And once I write that paper down, I try my best to move them to that area in the form of either out of Canada or in Canada. So there's always an influctuation of incoming flights to Canada or outgoing flights from Canada due to the fact that people are just not comfortable where they are or who they are around. That's how I do my Bible study. I make my Bible happen. How about you? Do you make your Bible happen?